Hi guys, it's Amber from Amber Eats Books, and I'm here to bring you my next 5 TBR. So this week, coming up, will be the beginning of school. My kids are so excited. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm really excited because none of you know this, but my daughter, my oldest daughter, who's 13, last school year, this past March, she actually came down with an illness that caused her to all of a sudden not be able to walk, and she was in a wheelchair and then a walker and then graduated to a cane and then finally was able to walk by herself. But it has taken her months of rehabilitation to be able to do that. She also had this issue where she was passing out quite often. Thankfully though, she's completely healed. She's fully back to normal. She's so excited to start the new school year, as am I, because it had been a very long and hard road for us to get her through that illness. But we are on the other side of it. We are so excited that she can just go back to being a regular teenager, and she's going into 8th grade, so that itself is going to bring its own set of, drama and excitements and milestones and all of that. So we're just really thankful that she is healed and we can just enjoy her and be back into our normal routines for this school year. She's going into 8th grade, my son is going into 7th grade, and my youngest daughter is going into 2nd grade. So it's gonna be just a week of celebration, especially for me, since I've been home with them all summer long. The first day of school is going to be fantastic. I am pushing them out the door, and then I'm just going to maybe make a couple of YouTube videos and read and just enjoy the quiet. I've not had quiet in so long. And actually next week I'm starting a new job, so I'm really going to try to enjoy this week coming up. Anyway, enough babble about my life. Let's get into these books. The first book I plan on reading this week is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. I included this in a recent haul video, and a few of you commented and said that you really enjoyed reading it. And I've heard so many good things about it that I just had to put it up, front and center for this week's reading. I have been looking forward to reading it for so long. I just decided enough is enough. This is the week to get it done. So this book right here says Murder, Magic, and Madness at the Fair That Changed America. I will read you the synopsis. It says, bringing Chicago circa 1893, if I could read. Bringing Chicago circa 1893 to vivid life, Erik Larson's spellbinding bestseller intertwines the true tale of two men, the brilliant architect behind the legendary 1893 World's Fair, striving to secure America's place in the world, and the cunning serial killer who used the fair to lure his victims to their death. Combining meticulous research with nail-biting storytelling, Erik Larson has crafted a narrative with all the wonder of newly discovered history and thrills of the best fiction. That just sounds amazing. And I believe this is being turned into a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that, but that fact seems to be stuck in my head. So I'm really excited to read this and see what all the hype was about. The next book I plan on reading this week is Going Bovine by Libba Bray. I fell in love with Libba Bray's writing in The Diviners. I never read anything else by her except for that book, so this will be my first foray into things outside of that series. This sounds very interesting. It's about a boy who knows that he's going to die, and he kind of sees this person who may be a hallucination, and he embarks on a road trip to figure out what matters most in the world. I'm sure it's a lot deeper than that. It did say it was kind of like a dark comedy, so I'm interested to see just where she took this story and where the characters kind of go and what they discover and things like that. So super excited to read this, really can't wait. I have been eyeing it at the library for a couple of weeks and finally just decided, all right, I'm gonna pick it up, I'm going to read it. So I will let you guys know how this one was. The next book I plan on reading is A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. I am excited to read this because going into fall now, for me, September 1st starts fall. I know technically in, science or whatever, that's not really the beginning of fall, but for me ever since, going back to school, things like that just equal fall to me. So the beginning of September equals fall for me. And this just sounds like a really great, creepy kind of book to go into fall with. This is the story of a family, a New England family, whose daughter becomes what they think is schizophrenic, but then they decide that maybe an exorcism needs to take place, and that exorcism winds up in a tragedy. And then I think the book then goes on to follow her younger sister, who was just very small at the time of the exorcism, and what she discovers going back through these events and through the past and whatnot. So really excited to read this. I hope it's as creepy as it sounds. I'm just in the mood for something scary. I'm in the mood for, something that's going to make me not want to read it before bed almost, because, we're getting that much closer to Halloween. So hopefully it'll be really good. The next book I plan on reading is Rules of the Wild by Francesca Marciano. Not exactly sure how to say her last name. This book has been on my shelf for a while. I don't know why I haven't read it. Maybe it just really, the cover hasn't really called me that much, but I just saw it today and it's not as thick as some of my other books. So I just decided, all right, I'm going to pick it up. I really don't know what it's about, so let's go ahead and read that together. A mesmerizing novel of love and nostalgia set in the vast spaces of contemporary East Africa. Romantic, often resonantly ironic, moving and wise, Rules of the Wild transports us to a landscape of unsurpassed beauty, even as it gives us a sharp-eyed portrait of a closely knit tribe of cultural outsiders, the expatriates living in Kenya today. Challenged by race, by class, and by a longing for home, here are safari boys and Samaritans, reporters bent on their own fame, travelers who care deeply about elephants but not at all about the people of Africa. They all know each other. They meet at dinner parties, they sleep with each other, they argue about politics and the best way to negotiate their existence in a place where they don't really belong. At the center is Esme, a beautiful young woman of dazzling ironies and introspections, who tells us her story in a voice both passionate and self-deprecating. Against a paradoxical backdrop of limitless physical freedom and escalating civil unrest, Esme struggles to make sense of her own place in Africa and of her feelings for the two men there whom she loves, Adam, a second-generation Kenyan who is the first to show her the wonders of her adopted land, and Hunter, a British journalist sickened by its horrors. Rules of the Wild evokes the worlds of Isaac Denison, Beryl Markham, and Ernest Hemingway. It explores unforgettably our infinite desire for a perfect elsewhere, for love and a place to call home. It is an astonishing literary debut. So I know this book is quite old. I think it was published in 1998, I saw before. Hold on. Yes, 1998. So, like I said, quite old. I've never heard of it. I've never read it, but hopefully I enjoy it. So I will let you know how this one goes. The next book I plan on reading is one that I have seen recommended a few times across BookTube, and it's one that I have been waiting for months to come in from the library. So I was so excited when this past week it came in and I rushed to pick it up, and that is The Loney by Andrew Michael Hurley. First of all, I love the cover. It's black and white. Yes, there's a little red on it, but mostly black and white, and I just love that. But like I said, I've heard such amazing things about this book that I just knew I had to pick it up. I will read the description. It says, when the remains of a young child are discovered during a winter storm on a stretch of the bleak Lancashire coastline known as the Loney, a man named Smith is forced to confront the terrifying and mysterious events that occurred 40 years earlier when he visited the place as a boy. At that time, his devoutly Catholic mother was determined to find healing for Haney, his disabled older brother, and so the family, along with the members of their parish, embarked on an Easter pilgrimage to an ancient shrine. But not all of the locals were pleased to see visitors in the area, and when the two brothers found their lives entangled with a glamorous couple staying at a nearby house, they became involved in more troubling rites. Smith feels he is the only one to know the truth, and he must bear the burden of his knowledge no matter what the cost. Again, just another book that sounds creepy and amazing, so I really can't wait to get to this one. I don't know, maybe I'll start with this one. Maybe not, but I'm thinking I might start the week off with this one. So those are all the books that I plan on reading this week. Hopefully I'll be able to fit them all in. I think that I will. Just getting used to the schedule, the kids' schedule again, might make that a little challenging, but we will see, and I will let you guys know what I thought of them next week. If you guys have read any of these books, please let me know in the comments below. I always appreciate opinions. If you know any books that are similar to these that I might enjoy, please also leave those down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more bookish videos, please subscribe to my channel. And as always, I hope you guys have a great week and happy reading.